Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. St. Lucia recorded 57 cases of positive COVID-19 cases. CDC issues fresh advisory. This story takes the lead in a 1033rd edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 21st January 2021. Details when we return.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world? And you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
Welcome back. The Health Ministry in St. Lucia has confirmed a further 57 new cases of COVID-19, taking the country's case count to 713. All the new cases are St. Lucian nationals ranging in age from 11 years to 71 years. They are all assessed and tested for the coronavirus at a community respiratory clinic. There are now 359 active cases in St. Lucia, with one case requiring critical care and the others being stable. Meanwhile, St. Lucia is among 3 countries and territories in the Caribbean for which the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued new travel advisories on Tuesday amidst rising COVID-19 infections. The CDC is urging U.S. citizens to avoid all travel to St. Lucia, Barbados, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. All 3 have been placed on the CDC's level 4 or very high risk category, with the CDC saying travel may increase your risk of getting and spreading COVID-19. In other news, a firearm and ammunition belonging to a soldier have been allegedly stolen from Trinidad and Tobago's president's house.
The incident is said to have occurred around 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. According to reports, the Lance Corporal, who was attached to President's house, told police that he secured his service-issued pistol and 2 rounds of 9mm ammunition in his locker before moving away. However, he said when he returned, he discovered his locker broken into and the firearm and ammunition missing. He said he gave no one permission to remove the items. Police have interviewed several persons in connection with the report, and inquiries are continuing.
Caribbean countries may not have to wait as long as originally anticipated for COVID-19 vaccines from the COVAX facility. This from the Pan American Health Organization's director, Dr. Carissa Etienne. She was a guest on Dominica Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt's one-on-one show on Sunday night.
With Pfizer, and the hope is that although we had said that some vaccines would be available in March, that we probably can see that advanced and to receive some vaccines earlier. But on a note of caution, you are not going to receive the full number or quantity of vaccines.
There is confirmation that starting next Tuesday, January 26th, all passengers traveling into the United States will be required to present results of a negative COVID-19 test in order to travel. It will be mandatory to have a COVID-19 test no older than 72 hours before the flight departure date to the United States. Travelers must provide written documentation of their laboratory test results, paper or electronic copy, to the airline at check-in. It's a development being monitored closely by tourism officials around the region, as it represents another challenge for the industry's recovery. Meanwhile, according to one influential Caribbean American congresswoman, Yvette Clarke, it is not a decision that will be reversed soon.
And so while I would love to relax those provisions that have been set forth by the CDC, I don't, given my knowledge of what is happening in the scientific community, what is happening in the healthcare community, think that it would be a wise decision, given where we are, to relax those provisions at this time.
Over in Guyana, on Monday, Chief Justice Roxanne George Wilshire nullified Petition 99, the key elections petition brought by the APNU-AFC, which challenged the actual results of the 2020 elections on the grounds that there was a breach in the procedure for filing that case in the election court. More from HGP's Wendell Badri.
While Chief Justice Roxanne George ruled on Monday that the service of application on the second named respondent, David Granger, to Election Petition 99 of 2020 was not properly effected, nor was it served in the required time frame. Therefore, dismissing that petition and deeming it a nullity, she upheld Petition 88 of 2020, which challenges Order 60 of 2020, among other legal frameworks of the 2020 elections. The decision to dismiss Petition 99 stemmed from the fact that a notice of application was not served within the required time frame. According to orders of the court, the notice of application should have been served on the second named respondent, David Granger, no later than September 21, 2020. However, the second named respondent was instead served on the 25th of September, which he acknowledged by way of his signature. It was put to the court by Senior Counsel John Jeremy that this was as a result of a slippage, to which the Chief Justice retorted that the slippage was an understatement. In its attempt to remedy the situation, the Chief Justice posited that they failed miserably, as on the 9th of November 2020, in an affidavit, they sought to correct the date of service, but it yet remained outside the 5-day statutory period, as outlined by the court, to effect service. Petition 99P of 2020 is the key petition of the two. It sought to establish that the 2020 elections were poorly conducted by the Ghana Elections Commission and that a number of irregularities had transpired during the course of those elections, which amount to, but are not limited to, inter alia, missing statutory documents, as well as voter impersonation. Election Petition 88P, on the other hand, for which submissions are to be made by February 12th, alleges that the order which gave life to the national recount exercise is unconstitutional, and therefore the petitioners are asking for the results of this order to be deemed null and void. As a consequence of that order, it is asking that the presidential candidate of the APNU-AFC list of candidates, David Granger, be deemed President of the Cooperative Republic. While Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford had argued that 88P does not require evidence to be presented before the court, as it deals with issues of illegalities, Senior Counsel Douglas Mendez asked that there be leeway for evidence to be presented. This argument was supported by Attorney General Anil Nandlal, as well as Attorney-at-Law Kashir Khan. The Chief Justice upheld their request while asking for written submissions to be made by February 12, 2021. Meanwhile, an order was made for the statements of poll, as well as statements of recount, to be kept in the custody of the Registrar of the Court, pending the outcome of the case. Wendell Badri, HGP Nightly News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Following the Chief Justice's ruling, Attorney-at-Law Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford has indicated that the decision will be appealed. Here is Wendell Badri again.
Senior Counsel Ford, while deeming the dismissal by the Chief Justice as a serious blunder on her part, asserted that an appeal will be filed.
I must say, firstly, that the decision of the Chief Justice in relation to petition number 99 will certainly be appealed because we are of the opinion that the decision is incorrect.
While the Chief Justice, Madam Roxanne George, dismissed Petition 99 of 2020 on the grounds that effective service was not done on the second name respondent, David Granger, according to the National Assembly Validity of Elections Act, Chapter 104, the attorney submitted that there was evidence before the Chief Justice that Granger had been served all the documents required by law. Ford, however, challenged the ruling by the Chief Justice at a virtual press conference using clauses pertaining to the National Assembly Validity of Elections Act.
These propositions, we respectfully say, are not reflective of the true state of affairs, firstly in fact, and secondly, the true state of affairs in terms of what is required by the law. The National Assembly Validity of Election Act does not provide any timelines for the filing of an affidavit of service.
Meanwhile, reacting to Petition 88 of 2020, the attorney had this to say.
Efforts were made by counsel for the PPP, Mr. Barajaldio, and the associated parties to convert that petition into a petition which raises issues of irregularities on the part of GCOM as if it was a petition filed by the PPP.
He continued.
There is no basis in law for the respondents to file a defense or to take any effort to convert this petition towards this end. Such a position was rejected by myself representing the petitioners, and the court at the end of the day accepted that it would be decided, at least at this stage, on written submissions only.
Wendell Badri, HGP Nightly News.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Monday again rejected the imposition of curfews, a state of emergency and outright lockdown measures in response to the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic surge. He, however, announced public holidays this coming Friday and Monday, saying the strain of the pandemic and the ongoing effusive eruption of the La Soufrière volcano is beginning to show on the faces of citizens. We perhaps need as a people to pause, to reflect, to act more assuredly in ways which are inclusive, in solidarity with each other, and to be engaged fully for the long haul ahead, he said in a national address. These words, incidentally, pause, reflect, act, inclusive, solidarity, and engagement, constitute an uplifting acronym, praise. That is a golden watchword. Since December 28th, the number of COVID-19 cases recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has increased about fivefold, reaching 494 on Monday. Of these, 359 cases were detected among residents with no recent travel history, two of whom, 49-year-old Justina Pompey and an 80-year-old man whose name has not been released, have died. Both deceased are said to have had pre-existing conditions. On Friday, the World Health Organization changed SVG's COVID-19 status, saying the country was having community transmission of the illness. However, the government said on Monday that it had objected to this classification, triggering a reversal by the World Health governing body. In a little bit more uplifting news, Sandals Resorts International has announced Adam Stewart's appointment as the executive chairman. Stewart becomes just the second chairman in the company's 40-year history. He is preceded by his late father, the chairman, Gordon Butch Stewart, who died earlier this month. Gordon Stewart, a pioneer in Caribbean tourism, founded the organization in 1981. Stewart assumes the role after working alongside his father for more than 2 decades, serving as chief executive officer and, more recently, deputy chairman. Some people are dreamers and some are doers. My dad was a magical combination of both. He was fiercely passionate about offering a product that would exceed expectations, and we are incredibly honored to continue his pursuit of innovation, raise the bar, and creating landmark moments for our valued guests, Stewart said. The executive chairman has been recognized for his leadership in the travel industry. In addition, in 2009, Stewart launched the Sandals Foundation with a mission to lift communities through education, healthcare, and environmental protection. Stewart also assumes executive chairmanship of the Jamaica-based ATL Group.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now makes it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.